All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there are other mediums in which you could be enjoying this content. But my favorite one is the blog. And the blog can be found at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. But I know that's a lot to remember or to type in. So wherever you are watching or listening, I have provided for you a link directly to the blog, the free blog. You don't even have to put your email address in. But what you will have to do is look for a prompt of either more, open, intro, info, description, something of that nature. You activate that, another box opens, and the link to the blog is there, possibly with other information. So anywhere that I post, well, most places that I post as my FX Buddies, Rumble, RSS.com, Spotify.com. Um, yeah, so that is that. You'd think I would know what to say, but it seems I change it every day, huh? Okay. It is Thank you for the likes. They really help. When you click the thumbs up or like, that really helps. Um, Remember at 11 minutes and 11 seconds, a little icon is going to pop up in the right corner. If you'd like to subscribe, you click that. You might have to click that and something else, and then you subscribe. But and there has been new subscribers, so thank you. Thank you for that. Let's see. That's it, right, for now. So we'll get into this. The It is Thursday, June 26th. Well, we're gonna get out of June, probably July, also August. So, but the reason. Oh, okay. This is gonna be negative, but just this is just my thoughts, my opinion, my observations from all the years that I've been in this. Summertime, the ultra wealthy, the decision makers of the world, they go on vacation, and not just like 2 weeks or a week. They go the whole summer. They go to their country house in Provence or the mountains. I don't even know, right? Because I'm not ultra wealthy. I'm not a mover and shaker. Because trust me, if I was, I would be a horrible person. I would not be a good. I tell people all the time, if I was the leader of a country, it wouldn't be long before there'd be no inhabitants because they would leave or I would exile them or worse. But anyway, so yeah, or they go on their yachts. That's a new thing I'm finding out. They get on their yachts and they just go from country to country, wherever they're going on their yacht for the whole summer. And then they come back and assess things. And boy, is there a lot to assess right now, right? So, all right, yeah. But there's some good things happening. Today would be day 3 of the ceasefire. Now, Ice Cream Land claims they intercepted a um, kablooey from Yemen, and it's quite possible because remember I told you Yemen said uh, you didn't sign no ceasefire with us, right? And they also didn't. They are claiming that they're still gonna mess with people in the Strait of Hormuz. So there was so many articles, but I know the stuff is boring. So I try to pick the stuff that's gonna keep people engaged and um mm, I can't say happy, but anyway, the there and it might be here, but there is an article about the ships and the Houthis say they didn't say they weren't gonna not bother the ships. So they've noticed already um, people messing with the markers. I think that's what they call them. The markers, that the identifying markers that are, I guess they're digital. Well, whatever, they can be turned on and turned off, and they can be manipulated to look like, say, it's a ship from Chile, but they can change it to make it look like it's from Madrid or something. They can do that. And so, but whoever is monitoring that can see that they're doing that. So it's like, what's the point of doing that? But all right, so let's get in the starting uh article. 2025 budget tables, formal, flat, and frustrating. This is Jamal Kocher. He says the 2025 budget tables are formal and will not meet the ambitions of the citizens. So, uh, by formal, what I think he means is remember, this was supposed to be an explosive budget with new projects and new jobs and all kinds of things, and it's looking like it's not going to be that way. It's just going to be another regular budget. So, um, with the new everything being pushed to 2026. Now, he doesn't say that, but I'll just read it really quick. Member of the Parliamentary Finance Committee, Jamal Kocher, but they spelled his name different, confirmed that the 2025 budget tables will be formal and brief. And also, I like this because that means they probably are working on them. He probably has recently seen them and is leaking, right? Leaking out this information. So, yeah. He said in a press statement, the government will ask the political blocs to vote on it, as happened in the 2024 budget tables, noting that these tables will not live up to the aspirations of citizens who are waiting for them, expecting that they will not include anything new. Kocher added that the budget will be passed in a formal form without any noteworthy additions, which makes it unable to meet public aspirations or make any significant qualitative change in its items. Now, does that mean they're not going to change the rate? I don't think it does. They always say the budget needs the rate doesn't need the budget. That's I think maybe Frank 26 is the first one I heard say that, but other people have said that too. So, and I'm not saying that doesn't mean they won't change the rate. It's just another letdown for the citizens, especially, right? They were made all these promises, and Sadani made like this vow or oath or something that they were going to get purchasing power, and they haven't, right? So, I don't know, but whatever. It is what it is, and we live on, and we're thankful to be above ground every day, right? An expert explains the reasons for the decline in the central bank's dollar sales and speaks of signs of recession in the Iraqi market. Now, this just seems really dumb to me, but I'm probably the dumb one. I don't see why they're complaining about a decrease in the dollar sales. There should be a decrease in dollar sales. I know they still have to do business, and that's mostly what this is for, the merchants and the business. But if they're doing business with other countries, which we know the CBI lets them do business in at least 5 other currencies, if they do those other currencies, that would decrease the dollar transactions. So maybe this person is trying to just stir up some fear that will cause speculation, which would make the parallel market rate rise again. Oh, yeah, the parallel market rate closed at 1400 today, Thursday, a holiday, right? So I think that was good. That was significant movement in 2 days to get it down. So we'll go into their weekend, right? Friday, Saturday are their weekend. So we'll go into their weekend at 1400. So it may creep up a little bit over the weekend. And then they'll come back Sunday and get back to work. Hopefully we'll still be under the ceasefire and deals will have been made, or at least agreement to talk, right? Next week is supposed to be discussions with the neighbor, and I saw some other countries that don't I don't believe have anything to do with the RV, and they're trying to get those tariff deals done, right? So there's a lot to come out of next week. And now this is good. This is positive. This is Mashadani. He's on TV a lot. He says he's an economic expert, but I think he worked in the government or something before. But anyway, economic stability in Iraq and identifies a prominent reason. So we like that. This would be more reassuring to the citizens, right? But the reason is, in my opinion, not a good reason. So we're reading here. Economic expert Abdul Rahman Mashadani confirmed that Iraq is currently experiencing a degree of local economic stability, attributing this to continued government support. So that's the subsidies, right? For the fuel sector and energy provision. Mashadani explained the stability includes subsidized gasoline, diesel, and gas and other things. So if the government is having to subsidize these things, that's not good, right? Because then when they stop, or maybe when the rate changes and the citizens have more purchasing power, maybe they won't need to subsidize, right? I didn't think about that until just now. So, but I still think even, and it would be nicer if it was the CBI or someone, right, coming out and saying that. But for some reason, they do interview him a lot on TV. All right, look at this. Texas firm in talks to supply Iraq's first liquid natural gas terminal. I don't know why that gives me such a hard time. LNG. I don't like saying LNG, and then to say the three words together gives me a hard time. So, is there any other state that gets to contract deals with Iraq? It seems like it's always Texas. God bless Texas. All right, but anyway, so yeah, this is, I don't know if this came out of Bloomberg, but they discussed this with us. The senior Iraqi official spoke with Bloomberg. So I don't know if, yeah, this is that floating thing. They're gonna make some floating terminals out in the ocean, which I think is a horrible idea. I think that makes it so vulnerable, right? It's just out there. But whatever. Yeah, so that they're working on that. All right. Here's another. Iraq bids farewell to the popular economy and dinars fall into the pit of high prices. So I'm not sure when this happened here. Let me make this a little larger. The Reality Report examines Iraqi markets to document daily complaints about the price chaos that has transformed government pricing into a meaningless phrase used only as official paperwork that doesn't feed a single citizen. So here we just had Mashadani who said, oh, that's why we're having stability because of the subsidy, whatever. And then you have citizens complaining. This this name may sound familiar to some people. Ali Tamimi, who's a legal expert, who they used to have him on TV a lot, but they don't anymore. But it's a citizen stand in queues at bakeries, which queues is how other European people say line, stand in line. We say stand in line, they say stand in queues. at bakeries and vegetable shops, watching their shopping bills rise by more than 1,000 dinars every day. And their cries have risen on Twitter and blogs. So, why aren't they in the streets? With this report, what's keeping them from hitting the streets? I don't know. Every now and then, just like they just got 100,000 dinar little gift for Eid al-Adha, Adha, whatever. So they get little gifts, or not gifts, but bonuses, or, they give them a little bit of money, and then they just kind of, it takes them over, you know, holds them over for a little bit. But let's see. Citizens were stunned by marketing officials' justifications, which claim that the depreciation of the dinar and the rise in global feed prices were the causes of price chaos. But the citizens blamed, no, the government officials, right? Blamed weak oversight and direct government intervention to stabilize prices. So I don't know. It's it just like anywhere. Well, they do have laws. Look, they have laws and everything in here. But you can you can grab 8 people, right? And even here in our country, and ask them, oh, how's the economy? How's your life? How's blah, blah, blah? And each one, some will be, oh, things are great. Life has never been better, right? Especially like people who know how to trade options, and because people know how to trade the market to make money when it's going up and when it's going down. So some people are making money hand over fist right now, right? And then you have some people who are struggling. And yeah, so same, I guess same thing over there. Depending on which people you interview is is the story that you'll get. Now I thought this was interesting. Laws in drawers. The Iraqi parliament is hostage to sterile agreements. So just another complaint. The Iraqi parliament is suffering from ongoing legislative paralysis that threatens citizens' interests while political crises escalate and hinder the passage of vital laws. And so now you can see their parliament is set to convene on July 10th. It was July 9th, now it's July 10th. But the writer of this doesn't seem too hopeful that things are going to get done. And see here, delayed issues such as the oil and gas law, the supplementary federal budget law, and then other laws. They're evidence of politicization of legislation. So this situation exacerbates citizen suffering as issues such as salary scale adjustments and allocations to disadvantaged governance await pending parliamentary decisions. And so in that case, that's not only the citizens. Where are we? Oh, we're at 18 minutes. Okay. Some of these cities are complaining. They're like, hey, we need our money. We need our allotment of the budget. We got services we need to build up, fortify, things we need to pay for. Where's our money? So, okay, this was a greeting. Mashadani, he is the House Speaker, which in Iraq is one of the country's presidents. Mashadani hopes that Iraqis will achieve their aspirations for a dignified and prosperous life. And I just, I always say, and I know it sounds corny, and when I first started saying it, I was really joking. I was really being facetious. There's only one race, the human race, right? But now, as time has gone by, I really mean that. And I guess probably following all these articles in all the different countries, seeing that we're all pretty much the same. We all want the same. We want a good life. We want to have fun. We want to have someone we love that loves us back. We want children, and we want to provide them lives. And be productive. Well, at least most people want to be productive. So yeah, so I put that there. I'm sure other people had that same message, but his was short and concise. All right, and here Mohammed Saleh came out and said the ceasefire agreement provided temporary relief to oil markets, which oil is still down 60, 68, I think $67 per barrel. All right, so yeah, here now this was all over the news, all over all the sites. Tips from Rafferton Bank to protect your electronic payment card. And if you read this is something they should post to us because it's everyone. Everyone that uses these digital cards, they're all susceptible to the same crimes, the same fraud. They even had an article the other day telling them if you get a phone call from out of the country, don't answer it. Especially if you don't know anyone out of the country and your phone tells you you have a phone call coming from out of the country, don't answer it. It's probably, matter of fact, they said that's probably a cyber attack more than just fraud. They're probably going to cause havoc on your phone. So, but what I like about that, as you guys know, and those of you who are new to me, um, I don't like the idea of going totally digital. Um, Matter of fact, tomorrow's Friday. I'm gonna put in a video for those who are interested, and if it's still on the YouTube, um, it's about China and how the people are fighting back. Now it's only in 3 provinces or whatever they call their cities, but they're fighting back against this totally digital system. And it's about 24 minutes. It's not very long, but so we've gone through the full cycle of the social scores of them watching everything that you do and rewarding people who are quote unquote good citizens, right? Um, Letting some people buy more of something than other people. Specifically, I think one of the things was alcohol. So it's a sign. We must. I know everyone thinks, oh, you just have to go with the flow. Everyone's going digital. No, we can fight it off. We can. All right. Anyway, so here's my one commercial. Buy me a coffee. That'll be a live link when this is no longer in preview status. And I was right. It is buymeacoffee.com/Tishwash. And then there's Cash App, my Cash App ID. Now, my phone is in the shop. Remember yesterday? If you didn't listen to yesterday's episode, you should. And I had said, don't you feel like fighting with your phone sometimes? Well, it won. The phone won today. So I had to take it to the shop or whatever you call it. And hopefully it'll be back in my possession tomorrow and in full working order. But if you send me something in Cash App and I don't reply, that's why. Because yeah, it's not there. But anyway, it'll be okay. I'll live. But trust me, there was a time when I would be freaking out if I didn't have my phone. But now it's like it's just one night, right? It's just one night. Now this is a very serious thing here. Most people don't um, want to read about this stuff because they think it's religion, but it's in that part of the world, in the Middle East, especially if they are the religion that starts with the I and ends with the M, and their book starts with a Q. It does take over their whole life. They submit. It's a full life of submission to every, and I have Muslims in my family, Orthodox and followers of the man that some people don't like that lives in Chicago, I think. I don't know, but He's another one that's been kicked off of all the platforms, and he's like 80 years old. Hopefully, you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, so it covers the whole life of everything, banking, law, um, everything, right? So this Abraham Accord thing is a big thing. One aspect of it is if they sign this, they're saying they will normalize, see this word right here, normalization, with ice cream land, right? Because a lot of them don't, they won't admit ice cream land has a right to exist. So when they sign on to this, that's one of the things that it says. There's other things too. And you know who is claiming he's going to have some more countries sign it next week. So we'll see. We shall see. So if anyone wants to read that there, that's there. This, I think this is a good thing. Iraq Development Fund, liquidation of one of 6 investment companies with Jordan. So they go, and then they go on to say what the other investments are, and they're held in dollars, Jordanian dinars, and Kuwaiti dinars. So this one is being liquidated. So I'm thinking maybe it's been smuggling, maybe it's been doing things that it shouldn't be doing, and they're liquidating it because they know they're about to get audited, or maybe they did recently get audited. So, yeah, but read that and let me know what you think. Is it a good thing, or is it they're just taking their gains, right? So they have here's $50 million. This is Iraqi Jordan Land Transport Company under liquidation. Yeah, so I don't know. I read it and I understand it, but I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing or just a thing. And then the last sentence is it is noteworthy that Iraq has 30 investment companies with Arab countries. All right, here's another alarming figures from the central bank. Initial indications of an impending economic recession in Iraq. And I would say yes if they don't make a change. And we know they're trying, right? They're trying to change the rate and put new money out. And not only that, with the changed rate will come billions and billions of dollars of investment money, right? So, and they go back to the dollar sales issue again. Yeah, so I think they just have to have something to talk about. They have these talk shows that come on and they have to have things to talk about, and they're just talking about things the way that they are right now. Because they can't get on the TV and say, well, you know, once we change our rate, right? They can't do that. It would be great if they did, right? But they can't. So I think we're almost done. Let me see. Where's the little marker? Oh, I don't know. Maybe not. All right. 2 Iraqi delegations to arrive in Erbil to resolve financial disputes with the Kurdish region. And look at this, the image. I'll just describe it for people who are just listening only. It's a banded stack of 10,000 dinar notes, and one person has their hand on one half and the other person has their hand on the other half. It doesn't look like they're playing tug of war, but it looks like they are about to, right? So it seems there was some talk. Look at that. There's that $16 per barrel. There, I think the other dollar amount is here. So there may have been like some pre-talk today, and then Monday another one's coming. The Kurdistan Regional Government hands over the June payroll list to the Ministry of Finance, which is there, the federal Ministry of Finance, that which is Baghdad. So there seems to be movement, right? Because Remember, Baghdad was like, no, we're not going to process any more. You've reached your allotted budget amount. You probably don't remember that. But so the fact that this article came out today, I think is good. I don't know what is up. This is the last article. And I don't know what happened here. See how weird it is? So I'll try to fix it. I did already, but it's so late. I'm late already because I was gone for a couple of hours today. Iraq chairs the Asia Pacific Group and receives international endorsement. So there you have another international endorsement. They're being put in charge of this Asia Pacific Group. And they may have talked about this before because it does seem familiar, but the handover was held in the month of June at the UN headquarters. So I'm going to try to fix that, but that information may be on other people's sites too. And like I said, it's just the real thing that I wanted you to get out of that was that it was another recognition from an international body. Okay, and also, so when you go to this, after, if I can fix this, I'm going to have yesterday's episode below here because remember that I did go ahead and I found that article. Someone told me I was being way too paranoid. So here it is. I did put it. It's about Iran announces the dismantling of spy networks. I'm still not going to say them, but there they are. So it's just short. It's a short little article. So I did put it there on the blog. And so yeah, funny, funny, funny. Like straight out of a movie. All right. Thank you for listening. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals. Pay all your bills. Um, may not post tomorrow if there's nothing post-worthy because it's Friday. I was surprised there were so many articles today with it being a holiday. But tomorrow's a Friday. There may not be that many articles. So yeah. So again, I want to really thank you for hitting the likes and subscribing if you subscribe, and all the people who leave really intelligent comments. I really appreciate that. So yeah, join, follow, subscribe because I don't post regularly, and if all things work as they're intended to, you know how technology is. When I do update, you'll be notified, right? All right. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you are indulging in this content. And until next time.